Hey folks, welcome to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. So it's second week of April, nice brisk Saturday morning, and last night we had a northerly come through here, and man, it cooled it down a lot. It got down to 39 last night, and it's still blowing. It's about 60 degrees now, but it's still pretty nippy. So you can see the red buds are in full bloom, so our nectar flow for the bees is really kicking in right now. I'm just going to get into what's going on around here on the bee farm and homestead and show you what we got going on. So our water well's still not done, but I've done a little bit on these flower beds for our watering system here. I added in some shut-off valves in a few places because this is the north side of our house, and when they hooked up all of these watering lines, also put 3 valves right here. So you got the west side of the house, which it gets hot and dry over here, and the north side is wet. Well, this is all on the same watering circuit, so I put those valves in to cut that off. And we got a few flowers planted, and most things survive the cold, but not all. Still got some petunias to get in there. Still, all these pansies came back. But yeah, the flowers are doing good. So I put some valves around on the back side of the house too, to kind of separate the dry from the wet. So we're still on city water. The well's not done. It's still pretty bare. We got a lot of work to do here. I still need to get my brick put around my French drains here, or those basins, so that doesn't wash out. Let's get down and I'll show you what's going on with the water well. So the weed grass is starting to come in up in my Bermuda. So this was all seeded out here, and I'm going to get my mower going today, knock all this down. It's a little bit of vetch right here. We try and leave that out in the pasture area for the bees. It has purple flowers and they really forage on that good. Let's see, I put up 3 new hose reels around the house, and I added this frost spigot right here off this line that added off of the well, which it's not hooked up right now, but I jumpered from one hydrant I left on the city that's back behind the barn, and I ran a hose all the way over to that freeze hydrant and leave that freeze hydrant turned on, and that back pressures everything with city water. So we still got city water going on. Here's the 2,000 gallon tank. It's been sitting there since January and waiting on these guys to install it. So I haven't talked to them, but yesterday this excavator showed up, so they didn't say nothing. They just dropped it and ran, so they probably didn't want to talk to me. But so hopefully they're going to get that thing put in. So it's a 2-tier system. The well's down there, and it's going to pump water up here into this big tank, and the tank's going to be buried right here, and there will be a cutoff valve in this tank, so when it's full the well will stop pumping. So the well doesn't produce enough water to run my sprinkler system, which takes 20 gallons a minute, and this well puts out maybe 1 gallon a minute. So that's why we're running this cistern. So the tank's going to have its own pump, and pressure tank's going to be in here. So basically we got double of everything. We got pump in the well, and we're going to have pump in the tank, and a high level switch and an empty switch, and all the electronics is going to go in here. So that's what's going on with the well. I had another little side project that took me a couple of days. You see that little gray wire? I tapped into my Cat 5 up at the house and buried a line all the way down here. So now I have internet in the barn and Wi-Fi, where I did have it before, but it was slow. I had these point-to-point Wi-Fi antennas. So there's one there, and there's one up there in the window in the house, and that worked okay, but it only is about 1 megabyte per second, and now I've got around 100. So here's there's that little antenna, and I got my router right here. So that's a Wi-Fi router, so it's not very big. And out on my tank I'll have a Wi-Fi gauge that shows how much water's in that. So once we get that in, it'll be pretty neat. So let me show you what's going on in here with our seeds. So the wife's got a painting project going on in here as well. She's painting some shelves for her craft area upstairs in the house. So what do we got going on in here? So we got the tomatoes are doing well. So these are big beefs on this side. Actually, they're all big beefs, and I've got 3 jalapeno plants there in the back. And these are begonias that the wife's planted. And after they sprout, we take these domes off of them. And this is a whole flat of celebrities. Yeah, look at those. Those are nice. We've had good luck with celebrities. Mr. CB at CB's Greenhouse and Garden turned me on to that variety. That's a really good producing plant. None of my asparagus sprouted, so I started it over in here. I bought another pack of seeds from a different supplier. We'll see how that goes. And down here we've got some flowers going that the wife planted. Not sure what they are exactly. Back there is a label. Let's read it. Scarlet sage. And here we have Gladiator hybrid tomatoes and super beefsteak. And this has gotten wet and faded, so Antherthium something, I can't pronounce it. Hybrid snapdragon. Oh, yeah. And this is Celosia and Ageratum Aloha Blue. Not sure what those are exactly, but I'm sure those will be pretty when they get going big. So the next step will be transplanting these into some bigger pots up to like this size and getting them outdoors. We do have some out in the cold frame as well, outdoors. So out here on the corner of the barn, this clover got started 2-3 years ago, and I don't mow it most of the time. I just keep letting it get bigger and bigger. But the bees forage on this. It's got the little yellow or white clover tassels, and when this gets going, boy, the bees are all over this. I bought a packet of seed of this type of clover. Let's see, it's like 1 pound, and I'm going to till me up a strip down there where water tends to channel, and I'm going to do about a, I don't know, 75, 85 foot by 6 foot wide on my tiller strip down there, and plant another strip of that. I'm trying to get that done today. Let's come up here and we'll look at the chicks. So we've got some Bermuda seed to put on the trench where we trenched in for the where we hooked up the well. Still got the Predator generator there. I have not got out of the box and got it ready, and the generator wheel kit and battery. Still got all this irrigation stuff. I started working on that in the garden, and I'll show you that. And here's the status of the chickies. So I went to Tractor Supply and they had some Orpingtons, so dang it. These chickens are the messiest things. So here's the Orpingtons. They're getting pretty good sized. So we've got 5 buff Orpingtons here, and they're ready to go outside. But it got kind of cold last night, and I didn't want to move them out. I do have a heat lamp out there, but that'll be the next step for them. So there's 5 buff Orpingtons, and over here we got 5 Americanas and 5 black sex links. So when we get the Orpingtons moved outside, I'll move these out of this smaller box here over into here. Need to get them out of this garage because, man, everything they leave dust, and they're getting, this area is full of dust, so I need to get them out of here. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about when I'm saying I'm back pressuring all my water system with city water. So got this turned on. This line here is coming from a hydrant down there, and that's pressuring up all of these lines that will be pressured by the pump in the cistern tank and coming from the well. So right now that's not hooked up. The well is hooked up, and there's a check valve on the well pump, so I can't be pumping city water into the ground over there. So that's what they tell me anyway. It doesn't seem to be flowing, so I think we're good. I'm going to walk down into the woods. I've got a couple of eggs here that are cracked and leaking out in my pocket, and I'm going to put it down there by the game cameras, and I'll walk by the flower beds here. I don't know the names of all these things. I apologize. There's a hosta right there, and looks like another hosta or a canna, and purple, I can't remember. I like this yellow ground cover. That's really pretty. Another hosta. And man, the shrubbery type plants like this, man, they took a beating with that really cold weather we had. Azaleas are toast. A couple of clematis here, and redbud's trying to come back from that stump. It's our sweet gum tree. Yes, I planted a sweet gum tree. Everyone says, why would you plant a sweet gum tree? We cut them down, we hate them. They are pretty in the fall, but yeah, those berry things are terrible. I need to work on getting these dead elms cut out of here. It's not enough time. These 3 right here are dead. That one's gonna be dead. See how it's putting out greenery on the trunk? That's the sign, the first thing when they get Dutch elm disease. Look at these dead, dying. Here's my new shortcut down in the woods. If I can keep it clear. Here we go. This is camera 1 on the log, east side log. So if you go to Game Cam Wildlife Channel, you can see all the deer, raccoons, foxes, bobcats. I got a good shot of a bobcat walking through here with the neighbor's chicken. And here's the camera right here. It's a Browning Recon Force Advantage. It's one of the best game cameras out there. So we'll leave them some eggs here. My pocket's full of egg yolk. There we go. That'll be interesting to see what gets those. Probably a raccoon. Crows get them too. All right, so we'll head out of here and go up and show you what's going on at the garden. Got some water standing. Normally this is dry, so that's good. Our water table's come up. Means the well will be working one of these days. Okay, we moved our composted dirt pile. It was up here on the chickens, or by the garden, and I'll show you why I moved that in a minute. But here's the big garden. So we've got onions planted here, and they need watered. So with that front came through, we got no rain, and it's dry here. So these are reds, and these are white, I believe. Got the variety up here. Let's see, Southern Belle Red. These are Dixondale onions from Dixondale Farms down in Texas, and they shipped these to me on the day it was 6 degrees out, and they shipped them a week early, and I was not happy, but they appear to be okay. Okie Rob has these too, and he thinks his are stunted because he had the same problem. We actually got some asparagus that survived and is growing. Nice ferns coming up. So I planted these in the dirt from seed, just like Mother Nature does it. So these were planted last year. There's another one right here. And I was wanting to get some more going in there in the grow room with the seed, but first batch didn't come up. And I got some onions that came up from overwintered. I just stuck them down here. They probably won't amount to much. Nothing is planted out here yet, except some weeds coming up. And I believe these are either watermelons or sunflowers. I'm not sure. But I'm going to hit this one more time with my tiller before we get anything planted out here. We're about ready to get our tomatoes, and some tomatoes will go out here and some will go up in the raised bed garden. So I moved my dirt pile because it was right here, so I wanted to get this chicken fodder going. So this is clover, peas, I'm not sure what all. There's several varieties in here that's it's good for chickens to feed on. And it grows better when cardboard's not laying on top of it. But yeah, it's going good. So once this gets pretty tall, I'll move this chicken fence. I'll bring it on and hook it back right there so the chickens can get out here. All the fruit trees have bloomed. This is a peach. This is an apple. And there's a honeybee on that one. It's a dwarf apple. This was a pear tree and it bloomed. There's still a bloom right there. And I think this is an apple. And I think this one is a peach. And this is a cherry. Not gotten one single cherry off this tree ever. There's a few bees on there. Okay, out here in the cold frames, we have broccoli back in there, and lettuce is here, and in these little starter things are some flowers the wife's got going. And we gotta stay on them, they dry out fast, but there's some right there. We need to get out here in the water, even though it's been cool. And in this side we have again broccoli in the back, and that's spinach there in the front. Cool weather stuff. And I have 2 rows of onions right here. These were planted 2 weeks before those ones that are down there. So these onions have fertilizer running down the furrow, so it's time to fertilize them again. So here's my other tags. 1015 sweet, that's a white, or I'm sorry, that's a yellow, or no, that's a white. And the other one is yellow granix. So that's the three varieties we have, the red and these two. So last year I just had these onions here and we ran out. We didn't have enough onions, so we went ahead and planted those other 2 rows. Chickens are doing good. You can see we redid the run, reduced it out there, got the black plastic. So we're killing that off. And I extended the run around the garden. So that side of the garden is protected by the chickens from the bugs. I don't think it'll do much, but we'll see. Okay, here's our fodder feeder. So it's a 1/2-inch hardware cloth frame on top of this. So the chickens have been getting on here and eating it, and when they all get on here, it weighs it down. Here they go. They all get on there and it weighs it down and they can eat it more. I need to put a board across right here so they can't do that. Yeah, but they can't get it down and pull it out of the root that way. So that's pretty neat. But the other fodder that's over there, it'll just get free ranged, and they'll probably tear it up pretty quick. But this will last. This will keep growing as long as you keep it watered. Here's our little brooder, introductory brooder. So this is where I'm going to bring the Orpingtons out here in a few days. And it's got this little bars here. When you're ready, you can release your chicks so they can come out, but the big chicks can't get in. So it's a safe place for them, and they can come and go. And once they get acclimated, you just block them off and make them stay out, and then they'll start going into the main coop there. So I try to keep a board up here to block the wind. We had 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts last night. And in here we got the heat lamp. So this is where they'll stay warm and out of the wind if it gets too cold for them. So yeah, we're killing all this off. We'll probably leave this on here till June. And the wife is wanting to plant cutting flowers in here. And we're going to put another drip line with drip tape in this area to water all that once the well gets going. So we'll walk under these red buds here. Man, they're pretty. They're starting to lose their petals, so they're getting about to be done. Yeah, I wish they'd stay that way a long time. About 2.5, 3 weeks, that's it. That's all you get. There's the well. It's a fruit tree. I don't recall what type it is. I think it's probably an apple. This is a willow oak, courtesy of Eufaula State Park Campground. We dug those up. They're about that tall, and dug them up. My wife got caught by the park ranger. He didn't do nothing. And here's an apricot tree that doesn't make apricots. It blooms and it doesn't ever make any fruit. It was dug up. It was the one that came up volunteer from my father-in-law's garden, from a fruit producing apricot tree. Got some web worms going in there. I need to get a torch and torch them suckers. So one day after work, over there up by the pond, I dug up 6 silver maple trees that were growing over there. And here's one right here. To get them going out here, they're really pretty in the fall. So I dug up all around them so they're still in their original dirt. There's an elm tree coming up by it. And hopefully those will grow. And hopefully I don't mow it over. That's why I got that flag. I got another one down there, a couple more up by the house. So the bees are doing good. I've been through all my hives down here. I have not checked these yet. Got all the honey supers on. I put those on end of March, so they've been on 2 weeks. 2 weeks today they've been on, and they are putting a little bit of nectar in them. Most of the work they're doing right now is backfilling the second box, like that dark box there, because it's empty. They had to burn up they ate most of their honey stores in that really cold snap we had in February to survive that. So they have to make up for that severe cold. So our honey crop this year will not be near what we had last year. But I got the supers on all the strong hives, and we'll see how they do. So these ones with 2 supers, they're very strong. That one, this one over here. That second hive from the right there has swarmed. And let's see, hive 6 and hive 10 have swarm cells in them. So not this weekend, but probably Tuesday I will go in these and probably pull some. I will look for the queen to get her out of there so she don't swarm on me, and make some splits. We have 9 positions that are vacant. There's one back there from losses, and all the losses were in the fall. And coming out into the spring, we had one hive that had a queen failing, and that was one lost hive there. So I combined that hive there with this little short one right there. That was a weak queen, or a weak hive that barely made it through winter. So I put the bad queen's hive over here, and I took that queen out, and she got retired. And so we took down the beehive fence, and we have this here to keep skunks off of the hives in the winter. Skunks will go up to a hive and scratch on the entrance, and when bees come down, they munch on them, and they'll chew them up and keep chewing until they're in a big ball, and they'll spit them out and get all the nutrients out and just spit out the bee bones. And you'll see down on the entrance, it'll look like a chewing tobacco wads is what it looks like. And I call them skunk plugs, and I'll notice them around here in the winter, so that's why I keep this fence up. And I kept it on longer this year because last year I took it down in March, and they got after them in March, so I left it up all the way into April. So what I'll do with this fence in the summer is I will move it to the big garden down there and put it around that, and it'll keep raccoons out of the garden, but it won't stop deer. Deer can hop right over. Deer can probably just step over that fence. It's only about 3 foot tall, so it's just for small critters. Okay, let me show you my new tiller. One other beehive over here needs a honey super on it and a vacant position. So here's the new tiller, and I picked this up at Tractor Supply, and it's the gear drive, and I got the 6 foot wide instead of the 5 because the 6 foot will cover my tractor tracks. So man, it's nice. Bad thing about it is you get carried away and you just till like a madman, and then you've got this giant garden that there's no way you're going to be able to keep up with. But anyway, that's the tiller. I don't remember the brand name. It's like a King Cutter or something like that. It's the main brand that they sell there at Tractor Supply. But County Line. It's a County Line, yeah. That's quite a deal there. I really like that. And we have the gift that keeps on giving from the ice storm. This big old limb came down from somewhere. Man, I don't know where it came from. You know, you can see I got these big dead snags all up in the trees. So yeah, just keep working on those. Running the chipper. Here's some more remnants of the ice storm. So before the big Arctic blast, took a lot up to my neighbor over there, piled up to him, and he burned through almost all of his wood. We need a rain so I can get my burn pit down, so it's too dry to burn right now. One last thing that I did, this is shady in here, so we got fescue in here. So I got my ratchet rake, which is the thing you put on your front end loader that's got like teeth, and I scratched all in here, and I spread a bag of Kentucky, what is the number? Kentucky 13, Kentucky 21, something, some Kentucky fescue grass. So reseeded this because it's getting some dry bare patches, but it hadn't rained, so we'll see. Kentucky 31, that's what it is. Yeah, I knew it was some number. So yeah, man, a lot of stuff going on around here, a lot of stuff to get done, but all the attention the next month is going to be going through the hives, making sure every hive is checked once a week, and catch those hives before they swarm, because you want to keep your bees in your apiary. You don't want them flying away and becoming wild bees, or getting into your neighbor's house or your own house or wherever. So that one hive that I said did swarm, it actually moved into some boxes I had over there by the red barn, and I need to work on that today and get that situated where it's a nice, has a bottom and everything. They're just in a box. It's just sitting there with no lid or anything, or no bottom. But I need to get them set up and get it ready to move back down here. So it was nice they moved right into a box I already had. But man, that's it. It's probably a pretty long update. Sorry about that, but that's just the way it goes. I just walk around and talk about what's going on, and blah blah blah. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below, and subscribe to the channel if you would. Give me a thumbs up on the video, even though it was long and boring. I appreciate you making it this far. Y'all have a good May coming up, and hope everything goes for you well in your homesteading ventures. Y'all take care.